What's good, gun family? Urban Gun Reviews, and today we're going to be watching a video that I found on social media, and I'm just going to get right into it because I got a long article and stuff to read, so we need to bust this down like a brick. So let's get into it right now. Let's go.
Identifying because she isn't being criminally charged, walk in and wait in the lobby. She walks back to the exam rooms. When she comes back to the lobby, her spouse is seen holding her back as she's arguing with staff members. That's when 21-year-old Trent T.J. Taylor walks in. He also works at the clinic and joins the argument standing beside his mother. The argument heats up, and that's when Taylor tosses his medical gloves in a trash can and hits the woman in the head, then puts up his fists. As he heads outside, he hits her again. She pulls out a gun and shows him her weapon. The video shows Taylor shoving the woman with a traffic cone. The view through the door showing Taylor fighting with the woman's spouse. Staff members are seen outside trying to break up the fight when the woman fires her gun. Taylor died at the hospital.
My son died over a dog at the vet clinic. Over a woman who couldn't pay the bill for her dog. That's why my son is dead, over a dog.
Taylor's family speaking out after the grand jury's decision not to indict the shooter. The jury deciding against homicide, manslaughter, or reckless homicide charges. Commonwealth's attorney Jarena Weathers releasing a statement saying, quote, the evidence in the case demonstrated that Trent Taylor was shot and killed after he was the initial aggressor, saying the shooter. May 18th, Animal Clinic on Dixie Highway.
All right, so that's the video. Okay, so let's read this article and then we'll bust it down. All right, so it says Shively Animal Clinic shooting. Family of Trent Taylor speaks out after case dismissed. Says the Jefferson County Commonwealth's attorney will not pursue charges against the woman who shot and killed a Shively Animal Clinic employee at the business last month, citing evidence that showed the shooter was acting in self-defense. In a Wednesday release, Commonwealth's attorney Jarena Weathers said a grand jury examined the case and returned a no true bill, meaning not enough evidence was found to put forward criminal charges against the defendant. The jury had considered charges of second-degree manslaughter and reckless homicide. The Courier Journal is not naming the woman because she is not facing any charges in the incident. The shooting that took place May 14th at the bustling Shively Animal Clinic, Trent Taylor Jr., an employee of the business who was described as a family member at the time as a protector working to keep co-workers and family members on the site safe, was killed. From May, a tragic situation, what we know is Shively Animal Clinic shooting. Weathers said evidence in the case, including a video and witness statements, found Taylor was the initial aggressor against the woman and her spouse. Weathers said Taylor, who was the only person shot that evening, initiated various levels of violent force against the woman and her spouse before the woman used deadly force in self-defense. The various video angles and witness statements show Taylor striking the woman and attacking the woman's spouse, and witnesses stated that he slammed her spouse against the wall and had his arm across her throat. She added, our thoughts and prayers will be with the community and everyone affected by this tragedy. Attorney David Moore said that Taylor's family is extremely disappointed and he plans to file a civil suit on their behalf. He pushed back against the Commonwealth's attorney's stance after Wednesday's announcement, saying that he felt Weathers' office hadn't pushed to obtain the indictment and had instead given the case to a grand jury as a public relations issue, as he questioned why no one was arrested at the scene the day of the shooting. I can assure you, if the prosecutor believed in this and took it to the grand jury and pushed that there had been an indictment, that they wanted an indictment to ensure the obviously they didn't. Moore said at the press conference alongside Taylor's father, they can't bring their son back, but they were expecting some form of justice here. And my opinion is that they were robbed of it. Moore said he was told by the Commonwealth's attorney that charges could be filed in addition if additional information came to light, though he did not sound optimistic. Weather's office did respond to a request for comment following Moore's press conference, saying the only statement would be issued as the announcement that they would not press charges. The conflict started, Moore said, because the woman who shot Taylor and the people with her were upset with the clinic which had treated her dog. Moore said footage shows she was extremely angry and agitated before Taylor came out to try to get her out the business. Moore said she pulled out a gun. Taylor was eventually shot after he pushed her up against the wall. Video footage shows Taylor did not instigate the conflict, Moore argued, while Taylor did use force to try to get the woman at the center of the case and others who were with her out of the business. The attorney said the actions did not justify deadly force. Taylor was never armed with a gun or knife, Moore said, though at one point a large orange cone was used as a buffer weapon. I guess Commonwealth's attorney is saying that the people of Kentucky, that if someone comes at you with a traffic cone, you can shoot them. I disagree with that. Moore said, I think there are times where the use of deadly force to protect yourself or others is inappropriate. In this instance, I just don't think it was. Shively police. All right, I'm not gonna keep reading that because I've been reading forever. All right, so what do you think about this case? What do you think about it? Now, what I personally think about it, I think that it's a tragedy that the boy lost his life, 100%. I also think that he should learn to keep his fucking hands to himself. She might have been upset. She might have been throwing out words, being aggressively, verbally aggressive and stuff like that, but she never put her hands on nobody. She never put her hands on nobody. Nobody ever said that woman put her hands on anybody. She never flashed a gun. She had a gun, never flashed a gun. Nobody knew she had a gun until the boy came and put his hands on her. Now, he hit her in the face when he put his gloves in there. He came over right here and then boom, right there, hit her in the face. She could have shot him at that point because he attacked her. He didn't shoot her there. It escalated to outside to her getting hit again with a traffic cone and him hitting her husband or throwing her husband against the wall and putting his hands on her throat. So when the DA says, or their attorney says, that they don't see how force was justified, deadly force, I don't really get that, because he put his hands on him. I've seen police officers who didn't get their hands put on them, getting a hand put on them at all, who shot people. So I'm just saying that the kid was the aggressor, 100%, 110%. Is it messed up that he lost his life? 100%. I just feel that it didn't have to go there, and I don't think it would have went there if the kid wouldn't have put his hands on nobody. Like what gives you the right to come and put your hands on somebody who didn't put their hands on anybody else? I understand she was in your business. I understand she might have been irate. I understand she might have been unruly. I understand she might have been disrespectful. I understand she might have been whatever. But at the end of the day, that's what happens when you deal with the public, when you're in the customer service business. Shit like that happens. And if you think you're gonna go around putting your hands on people, punching people, smacking people, hitting people, whatever, because they're upset and they're in your place of business, it don't work like that. You could have simply called the police and had them come and escort her off the premises. But instead, you wanted to come in, you wanted to save the day, you wanted to show all your people, your family, everybody you work with, that you that guy. I'm the protector and I'm that guy. And I'm not, sitting here and trying to make light of this kid losing his life, because it's a major thing, man. And I'm like, it shouldn't have happened, but I don't think that you get B, which is the shooting, without A, the physical aggression from him. I don't think you have one without the other. You don't get her shooting if he doesn't do A. So that's where a lot of people are going to be conflicted, because a lot of people say, well, he didn't use deadly force. Why is punch not a deadly force? How many times has somebody punched somebody before and knocked them out? They hit their head on something, they die, or they get a brain injury or something like that, or whatever. So it's a thin line, man. And the DA decided not to press charges. The jury, seen it. There wasn't enough evidence, which I don't believe unless there's another video coming out. I wonder why there's not parking lot footage, because I'm pretty sure this place has a parking lot camera as well. Why there's not parking lot footage, but maybe it just hadn't been put out. But you just can't go around putting your hands on people who disrespect your business, or who ain't acting the way you want to act in your business. You just can't do that, man. Like, you put your hands up, then you run. You know what I mean? Like, you hit a woman, for one. That's nobody even addressed that. You hit a woman. You hit a woman, and then you ran, and then you still being aggressive after she showed you she had a gun. Like, if she pulled out a gun and you see the gun, you should be like, oh, you know what I mean? I'm done. Because you ain't got nothing. You can't protect yourself in that instance. A whole bunch of people in there. I don't know how that got unmuted, but a whole bunch of people in there, man, who should have, stopped that kid after, he did what he did. They should have jumped in and, kept him separated and be like, no, get him out of here. He bad for business, for one. You know what I mean? Because you got an employee just going around hitting people. So that's bad for business, man. You got tons of people standing in here. The fight goes outside and everybody's still standing in here. I don't know if there's people outside and stuff like that, but man, this is just a tragedy that didn't have to happen. But like I said, I'm not mad at the grand jury or whatever for not indicting this woman, because I don't believe that you get the shooting without his actions, because she had the gun the whole time. It's not like she went to the car to pop the trunk. She had the gun the whole time, and if he didn't do what he did, she wouldn't have did what she did. Condolences to the family. I think they probably get her civilly. They probably, shit on her civilly and get her for that, even though, that's how they get people. They can't get you criminally, so they gonna drain the shit out your account civilly. They gonna fuck her civilly. But and I understand why the dad mad too. You know what I mean? His son lost his life over, what was an argument over about a dog that she couldn't pay for services or whatever the situation was. His son lost his life, and there's nothing that's ever going to bring him back or make him feel no better about that. So, I mean, I can understand that, as a parent, but I understand too that we got to start teaching our kids, man, keep your hands to yourself. I've always been taught and taught my kids, don't put your hands on nobody who ain't putting their hands on you or ain't trying to do you no harm. Don't put your hands on nobody. This woman was just being verbal. I didn't see nowhere where it said she hit anybody. She, was tearing up the business, which still don't allow you to put your hands on her. Even if she tearing your shit up, still don't put your hands on her. You could have called the police. You should have made better decisions. So unfortunately, this kid lost his life, man. This guy and his wife lost their son, over something that he shouldn't have been killed for, man. But it's Urban Gun Reviews. You like videos like this, let me know in the comment section by clicking the thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you can do that by clicking on my logo on the bottom right hand corner of your screen. You're not following me on all my social media sites. All that information is in the description. We out to the next time, gun family. Stay blessed, stay strapped.